On today's episode of the Tiger Lacrosse Report, we'll preview the Tigers' CAA opener against the Dragons of Drexel. Get ready, fans. The Tiger Lacrosse Report starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packages of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years at the Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Hello and welcome to the Tiger Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas. The Tigers are set to open up their CAA title defense on the road this Saturday. They take on the Drexel Dragons. To preview the matchup, as always, I'm joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Shawn Nadelen. And Coach, the CAA last year didn't really have a great year top to bottom. This year you've got Hofstra in the top 5. Delaware just beat the #1 team in the country. Fairfield has played everybody tough. UMass has played everybody tough. And the team you're facing, the Dragons, they just had a 3-game winning streak snap. So week to week, this is going to be a tough 5-week stretch.
Which you come to expect in the CAA. You know you can't come in, haphazard against any of your opponents, across the board, on your schedule, but especially the CAA because the games mean that much more. So we know Drexel's going to be coming in fired up, after a tough loss. Obviously we got to go up to their place and be fired up to step on the field and, be able to put much more of a complete game together against them. But the CAA is going to prove, I think, again, this year that it's going to be a tough fight every day.
Before we get into the Drexel game, when you look at the 9-conference schedules and results of these teams in the conference, are you surprised that Hofstra is as good as they are? Or are you surprised that Delaware is playing as well as they are?
I'm not. I mean, both teams have quality talent and good team, good players, and they schedule those games because they believe they can win those games and be competitive, and they have. So it's a credit to them. I'm not surprised. Everybody in the CAA is tough. I was kind of surprised how Fairfield struggled early on because I thought they were going to be really good this year. But I don't want to say typical Fairfield, but they did it last year where they kind of started out slow and then they continued to build, and obviously we got to battle them in the CAA championship game, and they're starting to again figure it out and then get it together and put together some good wins. So I'm not surprised with Delaware and Hofstra's success so far.
All right, the Dragons on Saturday. Cole Schaefer is one of their all-time greatest players. Seems like he's been there about 15 years now, but he is finally a senior.
That's his number, 15.
That's right.
Maybe.
And he's finally a senior. He has over 100 career goals. Last Saturday against Providence, he was shut out. But prior to that, 20 goals in 8 games, I guess. What is it about him that makes him so effective?
I really feel it's his brain, his IQ for the game. He's always in great spots. He's got great hands. He's a Canadian, a Canadian product, so he can shoot the ball very well. He sets himself up for receiving the ball quickly and then getting shots off quickly. He's got great hands to move the ball, distribute it. I mean, the ball, if he wants to get it out of a stick, it's an instant, and he can redirect the ball wherever he wants. But I think above all, it's just his intelligence on the field, and he knows, where the ball needs to go before it even gets to him. He knows what he's doing with it before it even gets to him.
He's not a one-man show, though. This is a team that's averaging almost 10 goals a game. Robert Frazee is having another great year. When you look at them offensively, what makes them so dangerous?
All their guys are talented and dangerous, and they like to work together. Frazee, he's got a cannon of an outside shot, and he's a big physical guy that can get inside you and get to the rack. Their other attackman, Bauerine, is a good complementary player to all those guys, and he's a grinder. He's a good IQ guy as well that gets in front of the net and can score the goal unconventionally at times. He's got great hands. Watching film, there's a pass that Cole zipped to him with a guy literally draped all over Reed, and he handles it and finishes. That's a very risky pass, but there's the confidence in that group that they can throw those passes. So that's a dangerous thing, and their midfield is dynamic. They got good long dodgers, they got physical dodgers, they got guys that can obviously distribute and be able to move the ball effectively. So offensively, I think they're doing a good job really sharing the ball and working well together.
Defensively, they're anchored by a guy who's got one of the best names in all of lacrosse, Jimmy Joe Granito. And Jimmy's having maybe a rough start, and then always it's not the goalie's fault on his own, but this is a Drexel team that does give up some points during the course of the year, and I guess part of that is that face-off-wise they're not having a very good year. Those are two areas that maybe you can exploit. Yeah,
I think that's, I don't want to say a misnomer, but I think they're better than maybe what the wins and losses and the stats are saying. I think face-off-wise they're talented there and they know what they're doing. They got good wing play. Jimmy Joe, I feel like looks better so far on film than what he has maybe in the past. So I think he's actually playing better this year than what I've seen previously to him. And I feel like defensively they're as athletic and as in tuned as a group I've seen out of Drexel, in regards to their pulls, both close and long stick middies, as well as their D middies and stuff. I feel like they do a good job flying around. They know when they want to double team. They know when they want to force teams into certain areas of the field and situations. So they're a good system defense, and they're going to continue to obviously play that way, knowing us, knowing our personnel over the past few years. They're going to be very familiar with that. But I wouldn't be afraid to call their defense or their face-off unit much better than maybe what the numbers show.
Okay, your team, they know the non-conference schedule's over and it's CAA play. Do you think do you see a little pickup in their step already in practice?
I do. Yesterday wasn't themed to be an overly long practice or a grind of a practice. We need to get back on the field. We had a talk in regards to how the last couple of games have gone and kind of our performance in them, which is not indicative of who ultimately I feel like we can be. But we can talk about it until we're blue in the face. We got to get on the field and prove it, and we got to prove it every day in practice. And I think moving into the CAA now just gives us that much more of a heightened awareness, knowing that these, every game matters in your season, but the CAA games are that much more important, especially after coming off a couple losses where, again, we didn't play as well as we're capable. So we got to tune that up in practice to be able to really showcase that on game day.
Well, the Tigers will start it on Saturday as they will take on the Dragons at 4 o'clock. Face-off is in Philadelphia. Hunter Lochte and I will have the call on TowsonTigers.com starting at 3:45. Coach, thanks and good luck against Drexel.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you, fans, for joining us. And for head coach Shawn Nadelen, I'm Spiro Morekas. Have a great weekend. And as always, go Tigers.